What's up, guys? I'm here today just outside of the Springfield Mall in Springfield, Pennsylvania, which is just outside of Philadelphia, technically. I feel like we're in Philadelphia. Either way, we're here today because it's an easy on and off from the highway, and this is one of many, 16 I believe, Tony Luke's locations that exist. We're gonna go inside, we're gonna talk to the franchisee here, and we're gonna see if he can show us some of the kitchen maybe, or you know, we're gonna take an order, see if they can show us how the order's made, and yeah, pick his brain a little bit. What's up, guys? We're here today with Manny. He's the owner of this location of Tony Luke's in Springfield Mall. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us today.
I appreciate it. And thanks for taking the time to come and talk to us.
We're so excited about this. So excited. So first, let me just ask, what made you choose to franchise this business, Tony Luke's, over anything else?
You know, my major motivation was when I met Tony. I spoke to him, and you know, we spoke about life and what's important. I realized that a lot of our ideas were the same. What's more important in life is the same. Everybody wants to, you know, make money on a living, but you know, you gotta believe in what you're doing. It's gotta give you some satisfaction at some level. So, you know, money is not the only motivating factor. I believe, you know, every day you get out of bed, you need to feel a purpose.
Absolutely.
For me, you know, I've been running restaurants for more than 30 years. You know, I feel very fortunate and proud to know Tony and to be working with him. So, you know, that's what gives me satisfaction and, you know, keeps me happy.
That's great to see too, like in a small chain restaurant that, yeah, you know, it's almost like a mom and pop feel in that way, you know, that you have a personal relationship with Tony.
Yeah. And you know, I mean, since you mentioned, I'll tell you, you know, I can't tell you how many people, their eyes widen when I say, yeah, of course I know Tony. Like, you know, they're not expecting. You know,
so very popular, right?
Yeah,
right?
You know, and of course, you know, he makes this easy by being so down to earth. It's like I'm talking to this right now. You could be Tony, and, you know, I mean, the guy's done a lot, and he's popular. He's on TV, and you know, he's got his shows. But when you talk to him, it's like, you know, just talking to one of your buddies, and it makes you, you know, feel that, okay, you know, he appreciates what you do, and to carry his name forward, which, you know, we try our best to do.
Oh, it must be nice to have that support system.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I never have to turn back, and you know, I need help texting or calling. They'll be here the next day. You know, obviously, I'll try to, you know, I think we know what we're doing. So that situation, doesn't arise. But if it does, then small things happen. But
So why don't you tell everyone what I'm eating today? Because I came in and I put you on the spot and made you choose what I was going to have.
It's real easy for me to tell you what you should order, because I believe why mess with a classic? If there's a reason why Philly cheesesteaks are popular, so give it a shot. It's like you're going to go to Chicago, you're going to get a deep dish pizza.
Right.
You're not going to order Papa John's. So as far as the cheesesteak, my first advice to people is ask them 2 questions. Have you been to Tony Luke's? Yes or no? If they've never been to Tony Luke's and they ask me what they should order, I say, order a cheesesteak and order a pork. Those 2 are our staples. I say 80% of our business is right there. And between cheesesteaks and pork, you can say it's about 70-30. So, that's what you should order. And how should you order a cheesesteak? We call it whiz whip, which means whiz and fried onions. So I'm not big on putting, mayo, ketchup, lettuce, tomato, hot peppers, sweet peppers. It still tastes good. Even if you did that, it's not that it's going to taste bad. But to me,
Why mess with the classic?
Yeah, exactly. It's a classic, so let's give it a shot. And since we get a lot of out-of-towners here, I actually have, and this is another reason why I like doing this, is people will actually make the effort to stop back and say, wow, that was the best cheesesteak I had.
It's great.
And, like I said, I've been running restaurants for 30 years. I'm sure, you think about it. How many times have you really turned around after a meal and went back to
thank them,
to the kitchen to say,
let them know how
wow.
good it was.
Yeah.
Right.
So it doesn't happen too much, and fortunately for us, it happens a lot.
That's great.
Which at the end of the day, as an owner, that's what drives me. So it's very satisfying when you're able to provide a product that is great. People like the taste. It's made right, so with a smile. That's what we're in this business for.
I'm going to start unpacking these.
Yeah, absolutely.
So while I do that, what would you say, you kind of went over already, but what is, you would say, your most ordered item or your most 2? Would that be what we're about to have here?
Correct, yeah. So as far as the most popular item on the menu is cheesesteaks, and this is actually also a trivia that, when Tony started with his dad, they didn't have cheesesteaks on the menu.
I actually heard that. I did.
So it's funny how it's taken off so much that now we sell more cheesesteaks than we sell pork.
Wow.
But having said that, the pork is amazing.
So the pork was the first kind of staple?
Correct.
And then they expanded into the cheesesteak.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Especially since, I would imagine most people, when you think of Tony Luke's, what you think of is the cheesesteak.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You're talking Philadelphia, first thing you're thinking is cheesesteak.
Right.
That's
wild.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go ahead and take a bite of one of these.
Absolutely.
What would you say if you had to, if somebody said, I'm thinking of getting a cheesesteak today. I absolutely want a cheesesteak, but I don't know where to go. Why would you say Tony Luke's is the place to get a cheesesteak?
Well, I firmly believe that it's the quality of the meat and the bread and the cheese that goes on the cheesesteak. So what you're serving, you gotta have 100% ribeye steak. That's the only way to make a cheesesteak. So if you're starting with good ingredients, there are very good chances that you're going to end up with a good product. So,
Good's an understatement. That's great.
it melts in your mouth.
It really, I chewed twice and it was gone.
It's funny. Like I said, I've been doing this a long time, and you would think that, okay, I would say I can't have another cheesesteak.
Right.
Honestly, I can't say that. It's, it tastes excellent. that's all I look for. It hits the spot, and it satisfies that urge that I must have a cheesesteak today, and there it is. And he said, this was worth the trip.
Pork's also very good.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, what my favorite way of eating the pork is actually. So what I do is I'll leave it overnight in the fridge, let it marinate in the pork juice and the broccoli and the cheese together. I eat it the next day. So,
wow.
To me...
Do you heat it up or you eat it cold?
Oh, yeah, heat it up.
It up.
Yeah. You stick it in the, convection oven.
Right.
So heat up the bread and heat up the pork also. So, to me, again, that's if you are into cooking, the longer something marinates,
right, more flavor.
Just that. So
constantly injecting.
Yeah. So yeah.
I think I'm gonna do that. We're gonna add that in later in the video. I'm gonna let at least half of this, because I'm gonna eat some of it for sure, sit overnight. We're gonna heat it up tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be great. Can you see this? Do I need to come closer? Look at this. Look at how gooey it is. It's awesome. So good. So good.
One thing to say about the bread, I know right on top you see the cheese there, but the rest of the bread is holding pretty good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So imagine you are putting food that's really hard on bread. Again, if you think about it, unless you have a sturdy bread, that's just going to fall apart. Yeah. So and I've had people, we get a lot of people from out of town say, okay, we're back to California. Can I take 10 cheesesteaks back? And my advice to them is come in a day ahead. We'll make it for you, stick it in the freezer. Yeah, and take it over, take it on the plane. You'll be fine because it's still frozen. And once you get where you are, just throw it in the oven and yeah.
I actually recently saw something about that. There's like a Tony Luke's Pronto or something like that, where they have like
Tony
frozen.
There's also the side of business, which is the online business, and Tony does a lot of this on QVC.
It's pretty cool.
They are pretty busy. So you can order cheesesteaks, which come in frozen, and comes with instructions what to do. Defrost them, stick them in the oven, and not because I own Tony Luke's here, and so there's that bread and that cheesesteak from frozen to thawed to heated back again. 90% of what you're eating, and that's saying a lot.
So there's hope for somebody in Seattle.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So that's another great option. And the product holds pretty well. The quality is still there, and when you heat it up, you can still see steam coming out of it because there's enough moisture in it. So when you're heating it up, that moisture is cooking everything inside and making it hot. So,
that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, I don't want to take too much of your time up. Thank you so much for meeting with us today. Manny from Tony Luke's.
That's my pleasure.
Springfield Mall. Stop in and see him.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and I look forward to welcoming each and every one of you.
Oh man, am I full. So we just spent our time at Tony Luke's here in Springfield Mall. Manny was great, answered all of our questions. He was super helpful. He actually sat down with me afterwards. We had a good half-hour conversation. It was really great. So now, I've got this roast pork. I ate, I don't know, maybe a quarter of it. I finished the cheesesteak though, you'd be proud of me. But I ate about a quarter of it. Manny's suggestion is to throw this in the fridge. Tomorrow, he wrapped it in foil for us. He says tomorrow, leave it in the foil, pop it in the oven, and you're gonna see just how much better it is. So tomorrow we're gonna find out. Okay everybody, so I actually doubled Manny's recommendation and I went ahead and waited 2 days later to heat up my roast pork sandwich. After 2 days, the bread still showed no signs of being mushy or deteriorating at all. He was absolutely right about the flavor also. The time spent marinating together allowed all of the flavors to blend and truly made for an excellent sandwich. As you'll see soon after I fumble around with this foil for a minute, this sandwich is smoking hot, but still holds all of its integrity. If you're in the Springfield area, please do yourself a favor and stop in and see Manny. Get a delicious meal, have a chat with him. You'll be happy you did. They have a large menu that has items like chicken cutlet sandwich and vegetarian sandwiches as well. As always, I just want to thank you so much for watching and supporting us. Tony Luke's, Springfield Mall, dun da da da, didn't suck. stay tuned. We're going to go ahead and go in there and